What's up, guys? How's everybody doing tonight? If you're in the Seattle area, I hope you're staying warm. We are experiencing what is considered a cool and cold autumn day or autumn day. Winter arrived early in Seattle. And the reason why I say that in quotes is because my brother goes to Montana State Buildings, and apparently he has like a high of 10, a low of 3 or something like that in Bozeman, Montana. So, so I can't really complain too much. I don't know if that's accurate, but it's colder there than it is here in Seattle. I'm going throwback today. Got the old Central sweatshirt out. Don't wear it as much as I used to, but I dug it out because Central's volleyball team was in the postseason, sporting the Cats, and also for those of you who are coming across this for the first time, take pictures because this is going away. I got a Movember contest that I'm participating in tomorrow. And as soon as it's over, this thing is gone. Okay, so more important things. The Central Washington University women's volleyball team is their season is finished as Cal State, the number 14th ranked team, defeats them 3-0. We'll recap the match in just a second. Before we do, we will go ahead and recap what happened in this area of the volleyball bracket. Washington, as I said before in my preview video, there were three Great Northwest Athletic Conference schools: Western Washington, Alaska Anchorage, and Central Washington in that order in terms of seeding. Western Washington fell to Sonoma State. Got to give props to my former colleague and friend, T. Lobes. Congrats on your victory and the SID at SSU. He's celebrating a victory tonight. And so the fourth-seeded Sonoma State defeats the fifth-seeded Western Washington 3-0. They'll actually play Cal State San Bernardino, tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. And in the second round, you got the 1 seed and the 4 seed going there. And then in the other side of the bracket, BYU Hawaii takes out Alaska Anchorage, the other Great Northwest Athletic Conference school, 3-0. They will play UC San Diego, who defeated Dixie State 3-1. So not a very, very good showing in the Great Northwest Athletic Conference at all in the postseason. Little surprised that Western did not go out of the come out on top, and I'm not just saying that because T. Lobes might be watching this, and he and I used to go back and forth on the radio all the time. But I'm just a little surprised because they were the best team in the conference. They only lost 3 games in the regular season, so just a little surprised with that one. So every single Great Northwest Athletic Conference school is leaving San Bernardino, California tonight. So let's go ahead and recap this game as let's get up some stats here. I was able to watch it. I was happy to. I was surprised I was able to watch it because last night when I went on Central's website, they didn't have a link to the video cast online, and they did when I got home from work. So hey, sweet. So Central in the first set. This was a common thing throughout the entire match. Central came out a little flat in the first set and in the second, for that matter. And then they would go on a run and they would close the lead, but they couldn't get over the hump. They couldn't have that final kill or that final point or that block that just could get them over the hump throughout the entire match. And Central, the first set was a prime example of that as Cal State, the Coyotes jumped out to a 4-2 lead right off the bat, and Central was able to close the gap a little bit. The score was tied here and there, but the final score was 25-23. In the second set, unlike last year, where when Central played the Coyotes in the playoffs, and they came out flat in the fourth set when they lost in 5 sets. They lost the second set 25-18, but they were they weren't on a dry spell like they were last year. Just Cal State came to play to immediately put the Wildcats in a hole, and then the third set kind of looked like Central was gonna able to avoid being swept. They were up 23-19, and then the Coyotes called a timeout and ran the table, scored 6 straight points to win 25-23. That was frustrating to watch, and I'm not saying that was frustrating, because I'm, you know, putting down the Wildcats, but I'm watching this online. And I'm just thinking, really, this is happening right now? Like, we're this close. So, just overall, just a much better performance from the Coyotes than Central. Just at times Central was hot, and at other times they were really cold. What's very unfortunate about this game is Cal State San Bernardino led all the important categories throughout this match. 61 points compared to 42, 49 kills compared to 36. They did have more attack errors, one. They had more attack attempts, 134 to 127. Got a better hitting percentage of 224 to 142. More assists. They had more service aces, more digs, more blocks. So on the score sheet, it does look like they romped over Central. Even though Central did, to give the Wildcats credit, they did have some good points in this match. The Wildcats were led by senior Emily Dolan with 13 kills. Senior Aaron Smith had a hitting percentage of 267. Junior Kaylee Kite, the Librero, led the team with digs with 15. Coyotes, they had a much more balanced attack as they had 3 players finish in double digits in kills, them being junior Tori May with 15, sophomore Alexandra Torline, 13, and then sophomore Brenna McIntosh, 11 kills. McIntosh also had a hitting percentage of 360. Junior Ariel McCullough had 16 digs to finish out the game. So, unfortunately, the Wildcats are still looking for the program is still looking for their first postseason or NCAA victory. Still, last time that happened was when the softball team got into the West Regionals and were in a double elimination tournament in 2011 and was able to beat Western to get 1 win in that tournament. So the volleyball team is looking for their first looking for their first tournament win in a while, as they lose again in a rematch of last year playoff game. Moving forward, I'm not trying to put down the Wildcats, but if they want to get over this hump and go further in the tournament, because from what it looks like, the Wildcats are good enough to make the postseason, they have to win more conference games. And I know that's kind of easy, that's kind of a given, and I understand it's important to do well in your league all the time. But there were several teams that could have easily taken the 8th seed in this tournament, in my opinion. As I mentioned before in my preview, Northwest Nazarene actually finished higher in the standings in the Great Northwest Athletic Conference, and Central still made it. SPU is definitely going to be a force next year. Western Washington seems like they're not going away anytime soon, and Alaska Anchorage is really rebounded nicely ever since they hired their new coach. I think it was 2008, 2009, something like that. But they really have done pretty well throughout the last couple of years. So the GNAC is becoming there's a very deep volleyball conference. We've started to see this last year. Saw it more this year. So definitely got to take care of business during the regular season if the Wildcats want to continue this. Now, that being said, I think one of the reasons why the Wildcats made the postseason is because their non-conference tournament was their non-conference schedule, this year was very, very tough, and they were able to play some top teams. One of them, as I mentioned before, Washburn. We defeated them when they were ranked 6th in the country. So I think Coach Mario Andaya has his work cut out for him. It's a good thing that we got some experience We finished lower in the standings than what we were predicted, but I think that the best way to return to the postseason is to improve on defense, because I think that was a key in this game. Just improve a little bit on everything: blocking, serving, um, a little bit of spiking. So just focusing a little bit more on the fundamentals, a little bit more on the defensive side, and keep scheduling those tough non-conference games. And if we can win some, then that will pump. It will help pump the school. So again, Central ends up losing to Cal State San Bernardino 3-0, and that will do it for the volleyball coverage. And hope to be talking some basketball with you at the end of the basketball season. Right now, both teams are kind of off to a slow start, men's and women's, but there's always an opportunity to get into the GNAC tournament, and as we've seen in the last 2 years, the men's basketball team has snuck into the tournament and have pulled upsets. So we've got fingers crossed that they can do something similar this year. Alrighty, well, thanks very much for watching. Let's go Cats, and we'll talk to you all later.